we understand that the mining industry in general is very aware of risk management, compliance, the importance of health and safety, environmental policy. So, there's nothing really to talk about there. We know and understand how important it is. We find that the advancement of engineering, automation, is increasing the number of practices and procedures that need to be adhered to. And there's still very few people on the ground left to actually manage this process. And there are still mines to this day that use lever arch files to try and actually contain this. And it's just ineffective and costly. So our message out there is that's exactly what H2 Line solves. And it doesn't solve it just for the corporate site. It solves it both for the corporate site and the contractor, because ultimately the contractor faces the same risks, the same challenges that the corporate site faces. So it's a solution for both. And we're eliminating any human error, which translates directly into less fatalities and injuries. So our message at conference today is that digitization of these processes can be done immediately and effectively. And I think the success of H2 Line probably boils down to two aspects. The first aspect is we're both the end user and the creator. So as electronic engineers and computer scientists, we originally, in the original Saryx, actually created bespoke solutions for these industrial giants, especially in the mining industry. So I think that that's one aspect of it. When you're trying to solve your own problem, you generally solve a problem for everyone, and you generally do that quite successfully. I think the second aspect to the success of H2 Line is probably that we sold it not just for a corporate site. So when a corporate buys a SAP solution, they install it on their site, they control it, they are responsible for it, and they run it. For us, it was about providing sort of a transparent, more collaborative solution. So contractors have their own licenses too and share digitally with the corporate. And I think this then ends up in a transparent environment where everyone is partaking to try and achieve the same goals. There's accountability and responsibility, and I think that it's a game changer. And I think that that's what sets us apart and makes H2 Line so successful. Well, I hope an economic crisis doesn't start to take away from the spend that we need to do with, risk management and health and safety. I think when times get tough, we need to actually get smart, and digitization is the way to do it. If you look at bank branches, how many bank branches have closed since internet banking because there was just no longer a need for it? The cost saving associated with that alone is massive. And the digitization of these processes does exactly the same thing. You've got a limited number of resources that are trying to manage a very large problem. By digitizing the solution, you can actually use the same resources and make it a lot easier. And it is so cost effective from a contractor point of view. We rolled out to a client. They almost guaranteed 100% compliance. When we had finished, I think they were 30% compliant. By the end of the implementation, they were back up to 100. So we can guarantee that a digital solution, at a minimum, increases your compliance by at least 70%. It's an absolute no-brainer. And if you think about the cost of non-compliance compared to an annual H2 Line subscription, I think that it's an easy choice to make. Digitization should not be affected at all by economic climates. Yeah, we are really, really looking forward to 2024. Presently, we sign up probably 100 to 300 companies per month. Since the inception of H2 Line, we've had an average annual growth of about over 90%. What's really encouraging is that we, at the very minimum, have almost 200,000 users logging on every single day. We've released 31 versions of the software. We are constantly trying to actually close gaps, work with existing clients to try and actually ensure that we are, really advancing the product, and make it fit for purpose. So we are so excited about 2024. We are now in 14 different countries, and just a little bit later in the year, we release our multi-language version, to face the challenges associated with going global. So we're grateful for the success we've had in Africa. I think it's great to cut your teeth here and actually prove that the product works in very challenging conditions. And now we're ready to go a little bit broader than that. So very excited for 2024.